Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Perfect. Asmita, is it visible on a full screen?
No, looks like it's getting
No.
cut.
Sorry,
Yes, it's getting cut. Yeah, it's not visible. Full screen is not visible.
I see. Let me give me one moment.
Yeah.
Share. Yeah. Is it full screen now?
I think still the same.
Sorry. Could you please confirm?
Still the same.
Still the
No,
same?
no, still the same screen. Yeah, still the same.
Okay, let me reshare this. This has to happen, of course.
Yeah, demo effect.
Yeah, it's just a classic demo situation. Okay, I think you will be seeing it perfectly. Yeah, is it full screen now?
Unfortunately, still the same. Yeah, now it's loading. Yeah, now we can see the how non-coders can build the AI tools in
Oh,
under
perfect.
an
Okay.
hour. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'll just switch to presenter mode. I hope it doesn't do anything with the view. I can get started.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm really happy to see so many people show up on like a festive day. And also, like, it's a beautiful occasion to gather. Today, we'll be talking about how non-coders can build AI tools in an hour and in half an hour. And since we have only 30 minutes, I will try to keep um, the information a little shorter and we'll focus more on the actual development. So I have a couple things planned out for this group here. We also, I think Divya also covered a couple of items that I wanted to touch on, which gives me a lot of time to focus more on the building. So thank you, Divya, if you're still here. Okay, so this is the agenda that we are looking at. We will be talking about some typical AI agent use cases. So only when you know what to build, you'll be able to build it under 30 minutes. So we'll firstly be looking at some classic use cases of what AI agents are generally off of. Then we'll touch a little bit on the low code landscape at this point. So we'll talk a little bit about what are the tools present in the market currently that you can use. And of course, we can also think about taking one of those uh, tools and building the agent with it. And then we'll talk about some next steps and opportunities as well that we are looking at. So I hope all of you are excited. Before we go any further, I'll quickly like to introduce myself. So hi everyone, my name is Saumya. I am a consultant. I'm a speaker clearly, and I'm a co-pilot evangelist. I work in the low-code, no-code space for about 4 years now. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn primarily. I talk a lot about low code. I talk a lot about Copilot, about women in tech as well. So you can connect with me there and other platforms as well. I'll be happy to see you all again in those platforms. And yeah, and then we can directly dive in. So the first thing we'll be looking at is typical AI agents. Why exactly do we use them? So the first one that we have is the autonomous customer support resolution. So AI agents can handle end-to-end customer queries, which is one of the most repetitive tasks that we have currently in the market. But it not just takes the queries and answers them, it will also be able to take action based on the query that was there. And that's why we called it autonomous. And that is the first kind of agents. So what exactly will it be doing? So you can imagine like an AI agent which is connected to a CRM network or a ticketing system, and it can help you maybe understand the IT issues or check the status of where the IT tickets resides. Also, some order status that is there, some refund related items like initiating refunds, updating tickets, notifying the customers, etc. So there are a couple of actions that can be taken based on these queries. Also, one of the major areas of opportunity where agent can be built and used, because there's a lot of manual work as of now. Second type of agents that we see a lot is for internal workflow automation. Again, like a big opportunity here as well. So what we see here is that AI agents can monitor triggers that it is receiving, and also it can execute multi-step processes across systems, which can be maybe so reaching from point A to B that is currently being tackled by multiple manual units can now be replaced, and this entire workflow can be automated using these agents, where like a sub agent will be sitting in each node and will be performing only one kind of task, which will be combined to create a workflow. So again, like some examples could be like maybe a new sales leads comes in, so automating this entire lead funnel could be one of these automation use cases. Another could be enriching the existing data that agent can do. It can also be like a CRM record that can be created using these agents, and scheduling follow-up emails. So like a plethora of such automation use cases wherein workflows can be automated would be like also a great fit where AI agents are currently deployed and can be deployed in future as well. Third is decision support and data analysis. Now, this is where there's a lot of data and we have a lot of humans currently analyzing them to make data-driven decisions. Now, with the whole advent of AI in agents, we always focus on giving the task of um, manual robotic processes more to the agent, and the creative decision-making process are now handled by human itself, because all the processes that are robotic and the steps are fixed will be very easily being automated by a agent. So that's three. And fourth is personalized employee productivity assistant. So I work across with a couple of clients with like multiple organizations, and personalized employee productivity assistant is one of the most used agents that we create for these organizations. So it is embedded in your current tools day to day, and a lot of you might be working right now. So imagine like a agent that is sitting in your teams that can tell you how many leaves are you remaining with, or maybe sending a vacation email without even writing an email for that matter. So an agent which is embedded in the current organization structure is like a productivity assistant that can enhance the day to day of your work and save some time, again with the robotic processes involved. Is a fourth and the like, a very classic example of an AI agent. So if you are wanting to build agents and taking something away from this session, do make sure that if you want to build something that is also catering to the market, and these are one of the most classic use cases that you can build for. Okay, now you know what to build, right? And now you'll think about what are my options? How can I get there, right? So in the low code, no code landscape currently, we have like multiple set of applications with like minimal hand coding, wherein you can just describe the logic and will able to create something meaningful out of it. And I'm not just talking about agents. So we have the first part, which is the enterprise app development, which can be like a mobile app, for example, or a website for that matter. So Microsoft Power Apps, Mendix, OutSystems, Appian. These four are very widely used for application development at an enterprise level. So if you want to talk about having like a business which does this, then these are the probably these are the tools that you might be wanting to dive into. The second kind is databases and internal tools. So there are Airtables and Retool, QuickBase, like so. All these platforms will help you create these large tables and store data, and also analyze them as well, and also connect them to the internal tools of the current existing workflows. So these things can be used to have database and internal tools. Is a second category that you can explore in. The third one would be websites and front-end builders. So again, we talked about databases, which is the backend. We talked about application development. Now we can also do website development. We can use Webflow, Bubble, Wix, Squarespace. So Wix is like very OG website builder, but now it has an AI powered assistant, which actually is pretty good. I've used it myself. So if you want to have just a natural language understanding of how the website should look like, what are the different functionalities of it, and if you know how to describe it better, which comes to the prompt engineering part, we'll be talking in a second. This is like a very important set of building tools that you can use to create websites. not just for like your personal use, but also like for monetizing for business purposes. That's three. And fourth is primarily what I work in is the automation and workflow, wherein besides Microsoft Power Automate and Copilot Studio, which we're going to look at today, we also have Zapier and Make, which Make I highly recommend as well. All these are great for somebody who doesn't want to code exactly, but understands the functionalities, understands how to describe it. So these automation tools will be very handy for those. So yeah, for the session today, of course, we'll be focusing on automation and workflow. Uh, just want to highlight this because there's a lot more that can be done in the low code no code space besides creating agents as well. But did want to give you a flavor of how it looks like. And with that, we can directly start with Copilot Studio agent building. And I'll keep this part short because I think a lot of this you've already seen the same set of audience. But yeah, Copilot Studio, it fits into this picture of providing an end-to-end low-code conversational AI tool for building agents, wherein this is like the best place to build agents if you are within the Microsoft environment and also want to connect to something which is in Microsoft and a third-party connector, and you're building lots of them in a single space. And again, it's a low-code platform, so if you have a barrier of coding, that doesn't sustain here. However, having said that, even if you know coding, this is a great place to start, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Okay, so there are four ways that you can build an agent in the current form, right? The first thing you can do is you can create using a pre-built agent. So these are some templates that are again the most widely used agents that are created. So the templates for them, including the prompts, instruction, description, everything is already added, and you can build it up from there. That is one, and that might be wanting to be done even less than 30 minutes. But yeah, that's where you can start. Then natural language, wherein you can just describe the agent and the first draft of the agent will be ready. That also happens in like matters of minutes. And then you can build over it, of course. You can create your own dedicated topics, etc. Then we have some modern UX as well, wherein it is the quintessential drag and drop functionality, wherein you have multiple actions that can be added within a single intent, and we'll be able to build the conversation from there. And lastly, for the people I said who do know a lot of coding, the YAML of all these conversations also very much exposed, and we can see it right now in Copilot Studio as well. So we can do that as well. That is also where we can get started. So for building Copilot, which we are gonna dive into right away, we will be seeing we will be creating something from scratch. We will not be using like a pre-created template. And let me reshare my screen for this, and we'll directly go to the Copilot Studio. Okay, perfect. So I hope my Copilot Studio screen is visible now. Okay, I'm taking that as a yes. Okay, so like I said, there are multiple options here. There's another option that Copilot Studio now provides you, wherein you can create an agent, create a workflow as well. So I think Divya did mention about Power Automate. A couple of you might also know about Power Automate as a workflow automation tool. That is also now inbuilt in Microsoft Copilot Studio. So within these, if you see, there's agents that we are going to create today, but there's also flows that we can directly create here. And the environment remains same in Power Automate as well. So if you build something here, you'll see there as well. And then we have tools as well, which we can also talk about as advanced connectors. But for the session today, we'll be creating an agent. So we will go to agents here and we'll create a blank agent. Right. So this is where the 30-minute thing starts, and it usually takes much less. But the thing is, for you to get to a good first draft of these agents, there is a lot of pre-work that needs to be done for this. And this is why we try to talk about prompt engineering a lot, because if you see this process that I'm going to take you with right now, and this is how we create agents in Copilot. A lot of this is how you describe, and very less about knowing the agent whatsoever. So again, work if you ever want to break into AI as a low code engineer, or as somebody who wants to just be describing the agent at all, please make sure to educate yourself on prompts. There are a lot of good resources from Microsoft and otherwise about, the format in which you can put in any and every prompts. In fact, I would also recommend that in the day-to-day of you using ChatGPT, Gemini, etc., you must have your day-to-day prompts also structured. I generally try to do background, situation, and task. That's my general rule of thumb. Even if it's a small query, I'll try to make sure to give the background because the back and forth reduces by folds. Okay. Okay, so we are here now. So what I'm thinking about doing this time is there is a document that I've created, which is like a dummy of Spotify HR policy, and it is a Word document, and we'll be creating a Q&A agent over it. So it's like a simple HR assistant. It's like a Spotify HR assistant that we'll be creating, right? So let's just name it as that HR assistant. And we will add a description here, which generally doesn't need to be that long because we'll talk in this description about the same when we are talking about instructions. But let's put something like it handles common HR queries for Spotify employees, providing instant answers about company policy, etc. Instant, let's do agent. Okay, and we will save it. So we added the name and the description, and we can also select the agent model. Um, 4.1 is the default one. You can also do 4.5. I think we also have Claude, if you see. So we have some OpenAI models, which is GPT 4.1, 5 Auto as well. We also have 5 reasoning. Then we also have Anthropic models, which is Claude. Again, I try to stick to GPT OpenAI models as long as the answers are to my liking. We can play around with this if you want to change the quality of answers. Every model has its advantages and disadvantages. I have a good resource for comparing which does better what. So I will make sure to maybe put it in chat somewhere after this session. But yeah, okay. Now we come to instructions, and this is where we will mention what it does and does not need to do. So if we talk about we have a couple of instructions here. So it is, it can be about the behavior of the bot. It can also be about where to reference bot from, and it is also about the tonality, which is very important for organizations when we create this on like an enterprise level. So if you see, we have also mentioned what not to do. So do not provide legal, financial, or health advice. Do not speculate or provide information outside the scope. Maintain a professional and supportive tone in all interactions. And all these become very important when you see the overall responses, the quality of responses overall. So let's add in that as well. And then we have knowledge, and this is where we add knowledge. Now, again, we can do multiple things here. There are a couple of knowledge connectors that we have provided from Copilot Studio's native connectors. So if you see at the top, we can upload something from our local as well. But what we can also do, we can do a SharePoint or a OneDrive link as well. Very important that if you put anything from your local, you cannot manage its access. So it's always advised to put it on a SharePoint or a location which is accessible to all the future users of the agent as well. You can, of course, upload something by yourself just for your own sake and playing around with the bot. But if you're making something which is production ready, it is important for you to have a location which is accessible to all potential users. So yeah, we have some featured connectors here. We can do Dynamics 365, there's Salesforce, ServiceNow, Azure. We can do Dataverse as well. We do it a lot when we want to do structured data. So something, if you have something in an Excel, for example, or a table wherein key value pairs become important. So Dataverse is a great option. It is again in the Power Platforms dashboard and environment. So the connection is quite seamless. We also have some advanced connectors like Snowflake, Databricks, Confluence, Oracle, etc., which also can be connected with some tokens, which is why I was mentioning that not only Microsoft connectors, but you can also connect to knowledge, which is outside of Microsoft, because all these work on essentially APIs. So if you have the authentication token, you can connect these as well. Okay, having said all of that, let's try to keep this very basic. So we will try to upload something from our local. So we have a Spotify HR policy document that we've created, which we'll be adding. And again, this is like a very typical HR policy document, which will contain everything about different types of policies of vacation, parental policy, leave, log in, log out, all those basic information. And we'll be uploading it here. Now, the upload time, if you see at the top, only text-based files are supported. Images, audio, and video, as well as executable files currently are not supported by the native capabilities of Copilot Studio. So, and also like the database for all this is Dataverse. So whatever you are uploading, you have to make sure because it's being chunked, embedded, ready for Q&A, it is going to be stored somewhere, which in this case will be Dataverse. So do not upload anything which is confidential, which is something that you would not want to share with Microsoft, because it is mandatory that it will be ingested in the Dataverse system. Okay. Also, the upload time differs. It may take longer for, oh, I see. It may take longer for some files than the other, based on the size. Sometimes it is also sometimes the um, type of file that I'm talking about. And let me quickly show you the file for that matter. I have it opened here. It is a Word file. Okay, I only have 8 minutes for it. Okay. So this is the document that we are working with. It is a it is a Word document, and it has a couple of sections. I think it has only 2 pages, and it is all text. Now, again, this also has different possibilities. If there's an image here, or there's a table, or there's anything which is unstructured format, it can also be an image. So in the all those cases, the ingestion becomes longer and the quality of responses will be made accordingly. So I've picked the most basic form of knowledge, which is all text, and this is where we can get it answered quite quickly. Uh, and that is something you might need to take care if you want to build it as well, because that gets tricky when you are adding things like um, images or tables. We also can use PowerPoint presentations in terms of a Word file. We can also use a PDF. A notebook will also work like a text file. That could also do. But there are some files which are off limits, which might not be able to ingest quickly. Let me do this. So yeah, give me a second, it's taking some time. But what we're going to do after this is the knowledge is done, the instructions are done, the description is done. What we are now going to do is we are going to work with this agent to put in some questions based on that document and see if it is able to answer it. I would also want to give some time into explaining to you how the references work as well. I hope I have time for that. It's taking longer than expected. Okay, perfect. So we will test it here in the test screen. And okay, so oh, I hope I'm audible. Okay, yeah. So there are a couple of questions that we can test here. So like one of the parental questions from the parental leave section, and I will start this session again. It is gonna start with a conversation start topic, which I can also show you. So we have couple types of topics which are pre-created. Two types of this. One is the custom topics and one is system topics. So the message popped up here, right? This is based on the conversation start topic. And this is a pre-created one. I did not create it myself. I just directly ask a question and see how it answers it based on the knowledge. Now, mind you that for this agent, we have not uh, mentioned whether it has to answer from the knowledge that we added or from any website whatsoever. So it is gonna prioritize the knowledge that we uploaded, and then it is gonna, if it is not finding an answer, it will also look for it on public websites. So if I go back to overview, back to topics here, one topic that I want you to emphasize most on is the conversational boosting topic. and it is right here. It's the second one. Okay. So this is where the actual generative AI piece comes into picture. This generative AI node is where most of it happens. If you click on the edit sources here, this is mostly for a basic bot. You can configure almost everything here. So if you see the knowledge sources, if I want the bot to only answer from my knowledge, I'll switch it on and select the knowledge that I want it to be added. Web search is switched off. You can also switch off this, which says that allow the AI to use its own general knowledge, which we generally do not want, right? Now, the instructions that we added in the initial part is something you can add here as well, or you can be even more specific with how he wants to handle the knowledge that we've uploaded, and we put on save, and we rewrite we put another question here in a new test window, and we will see how it is acting. Second. Okay, so we have a new session here, and I'm asking this again. Why I started a new session is because we made some changes to the conversation and boosting, and now we are re-asking a different question, which is also from the same document. And if I have some time, I would like to. Okay, perfect. It is able to answer this as well. Um, Great. So it says that it is coming from the internal HR. It is coming from the same knowledge source this time. If it is not finding the answer, it will then go to the public websites, which currently we've restrained. Okay. I will want to go back to talk a little bit about licensing, because if you want to get started after this call, it is important for you to know what we have here. Okay. Okay, I hope my presentation is visible again. Okay.
Yes.
So perfect. Thank you, Smita. Perfect. So just like wanting to cover this entirely, close this off with some important portions of the licensing. So we do have like Power Apps and Power Automate and Microsoft M365 license, which is called the E3 or the E5 license. That includes the base license of Copilot Studio. So if your organization has this, you will most likely be able to, access Copilot Studio. um so yeah, you can also have the top up plan over the base plan, and it will be either by per month or by session, per session. That is how the licensing will be structured. Now I understand that a lot of you might not be like directly associated with an organization, in which case there's something called as an M365 developer program that you can uh, enroll yourself into, in which case you'll get a free sign up to the same license, and you'll be able to access Copilot Studio as well. There are some features that are disabled in this particular program, but it is, I think, a great start for somebody who wants to just get their hands dirty and start developing like some basic low connector, low effort agents. Okay. And lastly, yeah, of course, with all this, you might need the environment here becomes very important. So the admin of the environment might need to, put on enable this in the Power Platforms Admin Center for you to use it as well. So yeah, with that, I think I am at the end of this session. And yeah, I would love for all of you to tell me how you like the session. Was there any feedback? Would you want to be, if you stay connected with me, you can scan this and it'll take you to my LinkedIn. So I would love for all of you to give me some feedback, connect with me. We can chat more about this if there are more questions. And I know Smita has a set of great speakers ahead, so I can maybe stop blabbering. And yeah, Smita, thank you for the opportunity. As always, great to connect with Pune Tech community.
Thank you, Soumya, so much for covering all these things in a 30 minutes. We really appreciate it. And definitely later we will have 1 hour of slot, yeah, to cover more.